Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kenneth Suna. If you've never seen me before, I teach my 218,000 TikTok followers how to trade, invest, and simplify their lives. And one of the things I want to talk about today is overcomplicating investing. It's one of the things that I see so frequently on TikTok is this kind of misunderstanding that the stock market has to be complicated. It has to be complicated because so many people don't know about it. They're never taught about it. Schools don't teach about it. Parents can't teach about it, largely due to the fact that many parents were never taught themselves. It's this vicious kind of cycle that just replays over and over, where the parents have heard about investing, but they're scared. Everyone's got that one uncle, right? Everyone has that one uncle who lost everything in the stock market. And that uncle is the reference and the fear that you hear in so many other people when they hear about the stock market. They go, oh, I'm not going to invest anything. My Uncle Larry, he lost it all. Uncle Larry wasn't investing. I near guarantee you that Uncle Larry was day trading or trading something he did not understand. I guarantee you that someone went to Uncle Larry, whether it was a person in his barber shop or someone at his gym or someone around his neighborhood, and said, hey, Larry, bring it in. I got a stock tip for you. And Larry, knowing nothing about the stock market, thought this was his ticket out of poverty or out of a miserable lifestyle. He was going to suddenly buy this one stock and it was going to skyrocket in price and he was going to cash out and Larry was going to become a multimillionaire. That's not investing. That's not even stock trading, which is what I do for a living. I've been self-taught, fully self-taught, and I've been trading stocks for the last 13 years by myself. That is not trading. That is not investing. It's gambling. It's just dumping your money into something because some person told you about it. That's how uncles, friends, cousins, relatives lose money in the stock market, because they heard about someone and they didn't have a plan, they didn't know anything. My whole desire here, and it's part of my username. So someone once said to me, hey, what's trade, invest, simplify? Trading, investing, simplify. Initially, that simplify stood for minimalism because I'm a minimalist. I live below my means. I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't buy things. I live very below my means and I invest as much as I can so I can have a higher quality of life. See, so many people do it differently. They don't invest. They spend like crazy because they're upset. Their lives aren't where they want them to be. They're trying to fill a void. They're depressed. They're sad. They hate their commute. They turn on TV. The first commercial is, does your commute suck? Buy our luxury vehicle. At least you'll travel in comfort. You'll travel in luxury. And they fall for it. And that tethers them to the job they hate. And the bigger houses and the tech and the gadgets and the nonstop consumption keeps them tethered to the very thing that makes them miserable. Simply switching it and saying, I'm not going to spend so much. I'm going to invest so I can retire a little earlier and enjoy my life is what I'm all about. And that's what the simplify used to be. Now it's kind of taken on a different take. Someone once came into one of my lives on TikTok and they said, I get your username. You simplify things. You make it sound so simple and so easy that anyone can do it. So speaking of my lives, I was live earlier this morning on TikTok and I get several questions. Hey, I have a Roth IRA. I don't know what to invest. What should I buy? What should I invest in? And I am a big believer. Now, I can't give financial advice, but I am a big proponent of you considering an S&P 500 index fund. So I'm going to be laying over some photos or something over here in a little bit as I'm yapping on the investments that I like. And what we're going to do basically here in this video is we're going to build a foundation. We're going to build a house, basically. So what do you need? The first part of the house is the foundation. And it's the largest part of the house, and it's the most important part of the house. And I always start with the foundation first because I'm a big believer that a lot of people come into this world of investing through social media. They open up Instagram, they see someone standing in front of a Lamborghini, a mansion, a private jet, and the person says, I'm a stock trader. And they go, oh, I want a Lamborghini. I want a jet. I want a mansion. I'm gonna be a stock trader. And that's the worst way to do it. I always think it should be in reverse. I think when you come to the markets and you know nothing, you should start with the boring investments, just the boring investments. And then as you get a little more confident, you can add other kinds of investments and then individual and blah, blah, blah. And that's what we're gonna do in this video. At the very end, all the way over here, the attic, the smallest space is gonna be the highest risk things. because you don't really care at that point. You've got the foundation, you've got all the good investments over here, and a little bit left is going to go into speculative and high risk and crypto that you aren't familiar with, but you heard someone talk about and you're a little curious. Like I said, the thing that most people do is the opposite. They come into this world through social media and they go, oh, crypto, altcoins, penny stocks, that's how I'm going to get rich. I'm going to put that the largest. And that's a mistake that I made as well when I was in my early 20s and starting to get into the world of trading. I would listen to what people were talking about at my gym. I'd go home and I'd buy everything. I didn't know what they were doing. Turns out they were buying a couple shares at a time because they were bored and they were just doing it for fun. I didn't know that. I viewed these people as old and rich and successful, and so I assumed that they knew what they were doing. I'd hear them go, oh, this stock, blah, 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 and I'd run home and I'd buy as much as I could afford. I lost every single penny. Gone, over and over and over. Until I wised up and I thought, I'm going to do this in reverse. I'm going to start with the boring stuff first. That's what I should have done. Look at all the money I wasted and threw away. Literally, it's garbage. It's gone. It's done. 90% loss. Why didn't I do the opposite? So that's what this video is about. Foundation. Number one, right over here, you're going to see it. It's S&P 500 index funds. These are the ones that have the longest track record and the longest time around for us to look back at. Now look, just because it happened doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future, but it gives us an idea based on the longevity of these funds. Going all the way back to the early 1920s, but really the 1950s is when the S&P 500 was becoming a thing. And even if you wanted to look at the last 30 years, the growth on these things is fantastic and it's pretty consistent. Now, when I say average, I don't mean every single year it's going to go up this percent. What I mean is that over the average time, it'll go up 10% one year and it'll go down 2% the next and blah, 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 blah. Then we get the average. So the S&P 500 index fund is the way to go for most novice beginner investors and really anyone. Get the foundation. Once you've built the foundation, you can go into ETFs like these that I'm going to put on the screen in a second. I'm talking about dividend, tech, growth, real estate investment trusts. That's the next level of the house. You're still keeping it somewhat diversified, right? They're in funds. So you're not owning a lot of individual stocks at this point still. You have your S&P 500, and then you have your fund that focuses on dividends. You have your fund that focuses on tech. You have your fund that focuses on real estate. Great. Now, the next level above that is going to be individual stocks. And this is not necessary now because you've gotten the exposure and everything. But we do know that sometimes individual stocks can outperform the overall markets. I'm talking about heavy hitters, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, companies like this that over the last decade have not just outperformed the S&P 500 a little bit. As you can see over here, they've outperformed it a lot. You could just as easily have put your money in Peloton or Snapchat or some other highly speculative company like Fisker or Lucid that is down considerably, ChargePoint even. That's why it's important to have your heaviest positions in the safest and most well-diversified on their own. Outside of the individual stocks now that you're buying, maybe it's because you love it, maybe it's because you want to own it specifically. The very last level is highly speculative stocks, high risk stuff. I'm talking about really odd cryptocurrencies, altcoins, not the Bitcoins and the Ethereums. I'm talking about, oh, you heard of some coin on TikTok. You heard of some penny stock. You believe that in the next decade, this individual company will do very, very well. You could be wrong though. That's why it becomes the smallest part of your portfolio. Now we've got it all, right in this one little neat package. The foundation, the second level, which still is funds, the third level of individual stocks, and the fourth and the smallest part of your portfolio, stuff that could lose 100% of its money, and you'd still be okay. That becomes the smallest part, the highest speculation stuff down here. With all that being said, in under 10 minutes, we've covered the basics. This is Investing 101. It's the easiest thing you can do. Index funds, S&P 500, index funds, individual stocks, speculative. You got it. Thanks for watching. Please hit the bell, hit the subscribe, hit the notifications. I don't know where you're watching this because I'm going to be posting it everywhere. If you're watching it on TikTok, hit the follow. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe down here. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, everyone.